Bends are one of the unique things the guitar can do that a lot of other instruments can't. And they allow us to access a lot of tonal possibilities. But bending on the guitar is a science. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that you might not be aware of. So let me give you my tips for getting the best sounding bends out of your guitar. The first thing we have to understand is that bends require a lot of control and a little bit of strength. So the way that you do your bends is going to be very important. When I talk about bending technique with new students, the first thing I mention is that it's totally okay to use more than one finger on a single string. Let's say you're bending the 10th fret up on the B string, you'll notice that I set my 3 fingers up behind the 10th fret with my ring finger being placed on the actual note. Once I have my fingers in position, instead of just pushing my fingers and extending them up the fretboard, I actually allow my fingers to take a little bit more of a slanted position because my wrist down here is going to rotate and push the bend up for me. This eliminates a lot of the actual finger strength you might need, as well as a lot of the noise and clipping of the other strings that happens in the other way. So instead of bending from underneath, get a more relaxed hand position with your thumb over the top where you can slant your fingers and then curve your wrist into the string. It's this kind of scooping motion that will help you do a proper bend. Why do we need all of that tension and strength in our bends? Well, it's because a good bend is all about control. You're not just bending anywhere. You're bending to hit a specific pitch above the pitch that you started on. And you want to accurately measure how far you're bending your strings up. You may have noticed when you're reading tab that sometimes they have a bend arrow with a number next to it, like 1/2, 1, or even 1.5. Well, what those are indicating is exactly how far you want your pitch to go, with a half meaning a half step or 1 fret, and 1 whole meaning 2 frets. So you can test yourself. Play a fret like the 10th fret on the B, then play 1 fret above that, and try to match that pitch with your bend. You'll notice right away if you're not bending far enough, or if you're bending too far. Use your bends to control exactly how far you go and then build that into your muscle memory. Then do the same thing with 2 frets, which we call a whole step bend. 10th fret to the 12th fret. And the same idea, maybe 1 fret farther from the 10th to the 13th, which would be a step and a half, and watch out, this can break some strings. Every time you play a bend in a guitar solo, pay attention to how far the bend is supposed to go, because it's indicating another pitch above that. If you're practicing bends on your own, try to do bends within a scale. That's the idea of only reaching pitches that belong together. For example, when you play a minor scale as practice on the guitar, like maybe 12, 14, 15, 17, 19, and you're trying to do a bend somewhere within that region, make sure that it only hits one of the notes that were within that scale. It makes your bends sound so good and so melodic. I'll also mention what I love playing, which are called oblique bends. The idea of taking 2 fingers on 2 separate strings and only bending one of them up until you reach the pitch of the other. The most common shape of these is on the 10th fret of the E and the 13th fret of the B. And you bend the note on the B up all the way until it reaches the pitch of the 10th fret on the E. All that tension you get in the moments beforehand creates that oblique sound. Bends can be used in a variety of ways. You can bend up into vibrato, bend on one string and then play a note on another, and even bend into a tap. Doing a reverse bend by bending the string first and then playing it on the way down. Or double bends that start with a lower peak and go to a higher peak. Possibilities are endless. If you guys like this kind of lesson, leave a suggestion in the comments below, and you can join my Patreon for free, which you can find in the link in my profile. There, I'll give exclusive content, and you can also suggest the lessons that you want to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.